Hey everyone, and welcome back to Diabetes Essential Maze.
Mm-hmm.
We're diving deep today into something super important for anyone managing diabetes.
Absolutely.
Meal
It's
plan-
actually, it can be a game changer, but it's also one of those things that can feel
I was going to say overwhelming.
so overwhelming and confusing.
Totally. And, we get it.
Yeah.
There's just so much information out there.
Yeah.
And it can be tough to know where to even start.
Right. You hear all these things like eat this, not that. Count every single carb, or don't even worry about carbs.
Right. Like just to eat when you're hungry.
You know? Exactly. And then you try to do everything right and your blood sugar still spikes.
Yeah. It can be so frustrating.
It can be so disheartening.
Exactly. So that's why we're here today, to break it all down for you.
Yeah. We're going to share some strategies that actually work.
Practical strategies.
Practical strategies that can help you take control of your diabetes and really start feeling your best.
And I think, one of the biggest things we want to emphasize is that a fulfilling life with diabetes is totally possible.
It is.
And it's really about finding the tools and strategies that work for you.
That's right.
And, speaking of tools, if you are looking for more in-depth information and resources, be sure to check out diabetesessentials.com.
It's a great resource.
It is. They've got tons of great stuff to support you on your journey.
Yeah, for sure. But for now, let's focus on laying that solid foundation.
Okay.
Because we hear from so many people who just feel completely overwhelmed when they even think about meal planning.
Yeah. So where do we start?
Yeah. Like, what are the non-negotiables?
What are those key things that we need to keep in mind when we're building a plan?
Yeah. So there are really 3 key pillars to keep in mind.
Okay.
Portion control, carb counting, and meal timing.
Okay. Those might sound familiar, but we're going to go beyond the basics.
Yeah, we're going to give you those tips, actually apply them to your life.
Awesome. So let's start with portion control. Now, I think we all kind of know that portion control is important.
Yeah.
But can you explain why it's especially crucial for people managing diabetes?
Sure. So portion control is really all about managing the amount of fuel that you're giving your body at any given time.
Okay.
And when you eat more than your body needs, it can lead to those blood sugar spikes.
Right.
Which for someone with diabetes can be especially problematic.
So it's like overloading a circuit.
Right.
Too much energy and things start to short circuit.
Exactly. And on the flip side, not eating enough can also throw your blood sugar off.
Right, leading to lows.
Yes, exactly.
Huh.
So it's really about finding that balance.
Right, so how do we get that right? How do we master this art of portion control?
Well, one of the biggest misconceptions is that it has to be super restrictive and complicated.
Right.
It really doesn't.
Yeah.
For example, visual cues can be incredibly helpful.
Okay.
Did you know that a serving of protein should be about the size of your palm?
Oh, wow.
And a serving of carbs should be about the size of your fist?
Oh, I love that. That's so much easier to remember than trying to measure everything perfectly all the time.
Exactly. It's like a built-in portion guide right there.
Right, it's your fingertips.
Exactly.
I love that. So, and then of course, if you are at home and you want to be more precise, things like measuring cups and food scales are going to be helpful.
Exactly. They're your best friend in the kitchen.
Yes, especially if you're following recipes.
Yeah.
What about when you're eating out though?
Yeah, that's when those visual cues really come in handy.
Yes.
But also, just take a moment to look at your plate before you start eating.
Be mindful.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about portion control.
Yes.
Let's move on to another big one, carb counting.
Okay.
Now, I know this can feel really overwhelming for some people.
It can.
So can you break it down for us and maybe demystify it a little bit?
Yeah, I think the first thing to say is that carbs are not the enemy.
Okay.
They're actually a really important source of energy.
Right. They give us fuel.
Exactly. And they support our overall health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The key is choosing the right carbs
Okay.
and being mindful of how much you're eating.
Got it. So it's not about eliminating carbs completely.
No.
It's about making smart choices.
Exactly.
Okay. So which carbs should we be focusing on?
So you want to focus on those high fiber carbs.
Okay.
Things like whole grains, fruits, vegetables, because they digest more slowly.
Right.
Which means they cause a more gradual rise in blood sugar.
And that's what we want.
Exactly.
So instead of that white bread sandwich, maybe we go for a whole wheat wrap.
Yeah.
Or a salad with quinoa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about making those simple swaps
I love that.
that can have a big impact.
Awesome. And then when it comes to actually tracking those carbs,
Yeah.
any tips on how to make that easier?
Yeah. There are so many apps out there now that make tracking your carbs so much easier.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be this big complicated thing.
So we've covered portion control. We've covered carb counting.
Yep.
Now let's talk about meal timing. Okay.
I've heard that consistency is key.
Yes.
But why is that so important for managing blood sugar?
So consistency is really important because it helps regulate your body's insulin response.
Okay.
It's like keeping your internal clock running smoothly.
So aiming for breakfast, lunch, dinner, around the same time each day.
Exactly.
Okay.
And don't forget about snacks.
Oh, right. Snacks are important too.
Yeah.
So how do those fit in?
So snacks can really help prevent those blood sugar dips.
Okay.
Especially if you have a longer gap between meals.
Okay, got it. So consistent meals, snacks, check. But what happens if we miss a meal?
Yeah.
Is that going to completely throw us off track?
So it's not ideal,
Right.
but it's not the end of the world either.
Okay, good.
The key is to have a plan for those times when it happens.
Right.
So keep healthy snacks on hand.
Okay.
And if you do miss a meal, try to get back on track as soon as possible.
So it's all about having those strategies in place.
Exactly.
Okay. So we've covered the 3 pillars.
Yes.
Portion control,
Yep.
carb counting, meal timing. But now let's talk about the food that we're actually putting on our plates.
Yes. Let's get to the fun part.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about what we're actually eating.
Yes, let's get specific.
Okay.
So we've talked about lean proteins, healthy fats, non-starchy veggies. Can you give us some examples of what those look like on an actual plate?
Yeah. So when it comes to protein, think about it as the building block of your meal.
Okay.
So lean options like chicken breast, fish tofu, even lentils are great choices.
Okay.
They provide those essential amino acids without a huge impact on your blood sugar.
So like a grilled salmon with some roasted veggies would be a good example.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to get creative with spices and herbs to add flavor.
Ooh, yes.
A little cumin or paprika can go a long way.
Okay, now let's talk about healthy fats.
Okay.
I know they've kind of gotten a bad rap in the past.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing more and more about how important they are.
They are so important.
For our health.
For overall health and for blood sugar control.
Really?
Yeah, they can actually help slow down the absorption of glucose.
Oh, wow.
Which helps prevent those rapid spikes after you eat.
So which fats should we be adding to our plates?
Things like avocados, nuts and seeds, olive oil. Those are all packed with monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats.
Okay.
The good kind.
So sprinkle of walnuts on my oatmeal,
Yes.
avocado on my salad,
Perfect.
olive oil in my cooking.
Exactly.
Got it. What about those non-starchy veggies?
Non-starchy vegetables.
Those are a pretty big deal too, right?
They're essential.
Okay.
Think of them as your free pass to load up your plate.
Okay.
They're low in carbs, high in fiber, and they're just bursting with vitamins and minerals.
So we're talking broccoli, spinach, kale,
All those.
peppers, Brussels sprouts.
Yes, and don't be afraid to branch out beyond just the greens,
Okay.
like bell peppers, eggplant, zucchini, carrots.
I love those.
The more variety, the better.
This is making so much sense. It's about building a balanced plate with foods that work with our bodies
Exactly.
to help manage blood sugar.
Exactly. And when you combine those food choices with the portion control,
Right.
the carb counting, the meal timing,
Yes.
you're setting yourself up for success.
It's like this beautiful symphony
Yeah.
of strategies
Yeah.
all working together.
Working in harmony.
Yes. But, sometimes, even with the best intentions, things can still feel a little overwhelming.
Absolutely.
There's so many choices to make.
Yeah.
So much to think about.
It can be a lot.
It can.
That's why having the right resources is so important.
Right.
A registered dietitian. Or, there are websites like diabetesessentials.com
Yes.
that have a ton of information on meal planning recipes and tips.
You're an amazing resource.
They are.
I love that they have that support forum as well,
Oh, yeah. That's so important.
where you can connect with other people who are going through the same thing.
Yeah. That sense of community can make a huge difference.
It does. It's not just about the numbers.
Right.
It's about feeling your best.
Yeah.
Having the energy to do the things you love.
Absolutely.
And reducing your risk for complications.
Exactly.
So it's about living a full, vibrant life.
Yes.
With or without diabetes.
Exactly.
So what are some of those ripple effects that we might see
Okay.
when we start prioritizing a balanced diabetic meal plan?
So one of the first things that people often notice is that their energy levels improve.
Okay.
Because when your blood sugar is stable, you avoid those drastic highs and lows.
Right.
That can leave you feeling exhausted.
So no more that afternoon slump.
Yeah, you have more sustained energy throughout the day.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and when you have more energy, you're more likely to be physically active,
Right.
which has a whole host of benefits for both your physical and mental health.
It's like a positive cycle.
It is.
You feel better.
Yeah.
So you move more.
Yeah.
Which makes you feel even better. What about weight management?
Yeah, weight management is another big one because being overweight or obese can make it harder to manage your blood sugar.
Okay.
So by focusing on those nutrient-dense foods and those balanced portions,
Yeah.
you can really achieve and maintain a healthy weight.
Which can have a significant impact on blood sugar control.
Absolutely.
And of course, we can't forget about heart health,
Right.
especially for people with diabetes.
Yeah, because people with diabetes are at an increased risk for heart disease.
Exactly.
So it's really important to take care of your heart.
Okay.
And that's where those healthy fats come in again,
Oh, really?
because they can help lower LDL cholesterol, which is the bad cholesterol,
Right.
and raise HDL cholesterol, which is the good cholesterol.
Wow. So they're doing double duty.
Exactly.
They're helping with blood sugar and heart health.
Yep.
It's amazing how all these pieces fit together.
It really is. The body is amazing.
It is. And that's the beauty of a well-planned diabetic meal plan. It's not just about one specific aspect of health.
Right.
It's about taking a holistic approach
That's right.
that supports our overall well-being.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it really is incredible to see just how powerful a well-planned meal plan can be.
It is.
It's not just about numbers.
Right.
It's about feeling good
Mm-hmm.
and giving yourself the best chance at a healthy, happy life.
Exactly. It's about taking control of your health.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
what are some of the key takeaways
Okay.
that our listeners should keep in mind when it comes to creating a meal plan that truly works for them?
Well, I think the most important thing to remember is that this is a journey, not a race.
Okay.
You know, it's about finding what works best for you.
Yeah. Your body, your lifestyle.
And preferences.
And it's not about being perfect.
Right.
It's about making progress.
Yeah. Finding what's sustainable.
Exactly.
So start with those 3 pillars.
Yes. The portion control,
Mm-hmm.
carb counting,
Yep.
meal timing.
Those are non-negotiables. Those are the foundation.
Right. And then from there,
Yeah.
start incorporating those powerhouse foods we talked about.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
lean proteins, the healthy fats, all those colorful, non-starchy veggies.
Building that balanced plate.
Exactly.
And don't be afraid to have fun with it.
Yes. Find recipes that you enjoy.
It shouldn't feel like a chore.
No, it should be enjoyable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you're feeling stuck or you're not sure where to start,
Yeah.
reach out to a registered dietitian
Mm-hmm.
or visit websites like diabetesessential.com.
They have so many resources.
They do.
Yeah.
And they have that great support forum too,
Yeah, that's so helpful.
where you can connect with other people
Yeah.
who are going through the same thing.
Exactly. You're not alone in this.
It's all about finding that support system
Yeah, your tribe.
and knowing that you have people who understand
Mm-hmm.
and who are there to support you.
And with the right knowledge,
Right.
the right support, and a positive attitude,
Yeah,
you can thrive with diabetes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think this has been a fantastic deep dive.
I agree.
We've learned so much about the principles of a diabetic meal plan
Mm-hmm.
and how those choices can really impact our overall health and well-being.
For sure.
I hope everyone listening feels empowered to take control
Me too.
and create a meal plan that works for them.
And remember, small changes can make a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And for those who want even more information and support,
Yeah.
be sure to check out diabetesessentials.com.
It's a great resource.
Thank you for listening to the Diabetes Essential Tip podcast.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time.